Hello, my name is Greta Fahy. I have bad news and good news. I'll tell you the bad news first, but there's good news, so don't be too worried. I am brain to brain linked with something called the Internet of Bodies. It's also known as the Internet of Brains. It's also known as the Internet of Things. It's also known as the Internet of Living Things. It's known by a lot of names. This is a book published by the RAND Corporation, which is an international think tank, and it's called the Internet of Bodies. But it's not the best book available on the subject. It only covers the basics. It's only a thin little book covering the basics. But I'm just showing you the book because it's a thing. It's a proven thing to exist. So I've been brain to brain linked with it for 18 years, and I speak about it every day nearly online, or I write about it because at time we're under time constraints to solve this problem because more and more people are being connected up to this enslavement system known as the Internet of Bodies on a day-to-day basis. So the quicker we solve it and free ourselves, the better. But there is a way to solve it. There are lots of ways. Okay, so I just want to tell you what it's like to be wirelessly connected by a two-way stream of energy to to computerized network where you are controlled, where you are monitored, tracked, and controlled 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when you're in your own shower room or toilet, because they're collecting metadata of you all the time, so they never give you a break ever. And the reason I was connected up is because I was in receipt of disability allowance for irritable bowel syndrome. They didn't know if I had it or not. So they decided to monitor me around the clock. And that's not the only reason. They also wish to collect metadata from my life so that they could configure it. And also, they wish to set up, they wish to prepare programmable algorithms so that they can control everybody else in a similar manner to me, but they don't have the staff to do it. So they're they're automating it. If they ever finally succeed in automating this control system, you will also be enslaved in a similar manner unless you take measures to protect yourself. I will tell you how. Now, first of all, I'll quickly go through my experiences. I am a targeted individual, which I've written down because it's quicker. Okay. I am a targeted individual of non-consensual, wirelessly enabled neuro research. I am linked by means of a bidirectional stream of energy from my brain and body to the computer network of the evil, unknown neuro researchers against my will and without my permission. They transmit coded, digitalized information into my brain and central nervous system by means of this aforementioned bidirectional stream of energy. My brain and body are now coded to receive the following experiences, which I receive on a continual basis, and they are as follows: forced muscle movement, voices which I hear coming from inside my head, visions, images which I see inside my head, and holograms which I see in my room, sleep deprivation, pain, electric shock, occasional disablement of a group of my leg muscles, entrainment of my brain frequencies into frequencies of various unwanted emotions such as terror, sexual abuse by means of their use of haptic technology, which they use to introduce sensations into my nether regions. And as well as all that, they occasionally transmit voices through my mouth. They also transmit laughter through my mouth, and they transmit swearing through my mouth. Because they can control all of the muscles in my face. When I'm brain-to-brain interfaced with them, they can take over my body. And when I laugh normally, I just have my own laugh. But when I'm brain-to-brain interfaced with them and they're laughing through me, it's kind of in a man's voice, not like my laughter at all. And when they swear through me, they sometimes do it in a man's voice. They sometimes do it in my voice, because it depends on how strongly they do it or something. Okay. As I was saying, they transmit laughter through my mouth, and they transmit swearing through my mouth, and they can do all of this because of the fact that they can externally control a large selection of the neurons of my brain and central nervous system. I don't think there's neurons in the central nervous system. That's a mistake. Neurons are only in the brain, as far as I know. Okay. They also track me on a continual basis, even while I walk around my own home. However, you see, you say, how can they monitor me in my shower room? Well, they translate the EEG patterns from my visual cortex. So what I see comes up on their screen. And they translate the EEG patterns from my audio cortex. So what I hear, they hear what I hear. And they see what I see when they take over my brain and body. And this is not supernatural. This is basic science and technology. Don't be believing in supernatural reasons, or like they have created this false belief that such things are supernatural or such things are mental illness, and that's not the case at all. They just wish to provide a cover story for their own criminal activities and their own advances towards enslaving of the human race. So stay away from those false beliefs that it's supernatural or that it's mental illness. It's not at all. It's just basic science and technology, and I will tell you how to block it soon. Okay. Right. Now, there is such a science called a science of Orgone energy, and it's been ridiculed by those who wish to enslave us, because if we come up with the real easy ways of protecting ourselves, they will ridicule it, and they will ridicule anybody who talks about it. And so I have to talk about it. And you might say, how can wearing an orgone pendant possibly help me? And I'll tell you why. What happens is, when you can make your own orgone pendant, you can make your own orgone pyramid, orgone generating pendant, orgone generating pyramid, and orgone is the most powerful energy in the universe. It'll protect you. What you do is, what happens is, you put a small quartz crystal, and you wrap a copper wire around it, and the copper is an energy conductor, and it is known to stimulate energy flow. And then you put some metal shavings into it, and you cover it all in polyester resin. And what happens then is, the polyester resin shrinks as it cures, and it compresses the crystal, and the constant pressure on the crystal will cause the crystal to generate a small electrical charge on a continual basis. And you wear it round your neck, and you're protected. And what's more, the metal shavings will broadcast the energy. So there's a purpose for all of these things. There's a purpose for the copper wire, and for them polyester resin. Don't use any other type of resin. And you see, your little pendant is generating a small electrical charge all the time, and it's a positive energy, very positive and very powerful, the most powerful energy in the universe, and it'll protect you. But I'll read more about it later, because I have it written down here. So what have I written here? Always wear an orgone generating pendant in order to protect yourselves from attacks by energy weapons. The orgone generating pendant will also help you to think positively, and it will protect you from getting cancer. It will turn negative electromagnetic frequencies into positive energy. As well as that, a black stone found in Finland and Russia called shungite has similar properties, because I myself have been wearing shungite for the past year, and a small sliver of it on a chain around my neck. And it really, it changed my outlook. It made me very, very positive in spite of all the extreme, terrifying ordeals I'm going through. Like with somebody else taking over my body from time to time, and forcing voices through my mouth and hearing voices in my head and depriving me of sleep, I still manage to be incredibly positive and do a lot of online activism and other activism, exposing this. And I attribute my positive attitude to the shungite, to wearing the shungite, just a sliver of shungite that I bought online. It cost about 10 or 15 euros. And you also ought to wear an orgone generating pendant. Okay. So, a black stone found in Finland and Russia called shungite has similar properties. Pyramid-shaped orgone-generating ornaments are available for purchase, which can be kept by your bedside or under your pillow. Orgone-generating pendants, brooches, bracelets, earrings, and pyramids are very powerful devices and can be made from orgone making kits, which can be purchased online. You can make your own, and if you make your own, it's better than purchasing them, because you know what's in them, and you know it's the proper stuff according to the specifications, and not rubbish. It's the right polyester resin, and it's the right copper wire, and it's the right metal shavings, and it's the right crystal. You can add a lot of extra stones as well, crystals or anything you like, and you can make your pyramid very beautiful by adding colorants to it, which you can purchase online there cheaply. Many good books are widely available on the subject of orgone, which is sometimes known as scalar energy or prana. Physicists call it scalar energy, and then people from China and Russia and other places call it prana and chi and a variety of other names. We already have it in our body, but if you wear the pendant, it will amplify it. Not amplify it, but increase it. Increase the amount you have at your disposal. It is powerful enough to change the whole world and to bring down the power of the private bankers and private corporate owners, who I believe have become rogue. Orgone energy is the highest form of defense and the most powerful energy in the universe. Ultimately, we will all have to return to using corded devices rather than cordless ones in the future, and we will have to have all wireless enabling infrastructure as well as harp-phased arrays disassembled and banned throughout the world. The reason I believe that these non-consensual neuro experiments are being conducted on me is because when the evildoers perfect the art of central nervous system remote control of some human beings, they will then extrapolate their capabilities onto most of the other men, women, and children in the world in order to wirelessly, remotely enslave them. If they don't have enough employees who are willing to operate their neuro weapons, they will force the men and women that have already been enslaved by this means to have them enslave still more men and women under the threat of remotely administered pain or else remotely administered total paralysis. I believe that they have already done this to some, if not all, of their employees. I also believe that they have the technological capability to program robots to carry out some of the most basic tasks of remote neural enslavement. So that's why this is an emergency situation, and why I keep coming online every day, nearly every day, making videos and writing posts, because I know time is short. Okay. Agents of government, such as military and police, have not been able to come to the rescue of myself and millions of other targeted individuals because the technology that they use in their workplace, such as their communication devices, impairs their ability to think clearly. And I'll explain it now. For instance, the frequencies which are being generated by their communication devices entrain their brains into various emotions, such as fear, or else happy apathy, or a variety of different unhelpful emotions. Okay. Whenever the emotions of a man or woman are under external control, their behavior is, in effect, also under external control. The police and military throughout most of the world are being heavily manipulated by means of directed energy weapons without their awareness for the most part. And as well as that, demonic possession does not exist in the supernatural sense. It is simply technological possession and can easily be explained by means of neuroscience. And I'll just give you my name now and address to let you know I'm genuine, and then I'll give you some information on how to make the Orgone pyramid. My name is Greta Fahey, and I'm also known as Margaret Fahey, which is my full name, but everybody knows me as Greta. And my address is Newbrook, Claremorris, County Mayo, Republic of Ireland. And my air code is F12Y560. And how to make the Orgone pyramid or tower buster. Ingredients are a 50-50 combination of metal shavings and polyester resin, plus the addition of a quartz crystal wrapped in copper wire. That's it. If you have nothing else, that'll do. You can make it much fancier if you've got other crystals and things. But that's enough. Tower busters neutralize negative energy which comes from microwave transmitters, and other transmitters. So you can make tower busters and you can bury them in the ground within a quarter of a mile from a microwave transmitter, and it will neutralize the energy coming from the microwave transmitter because the Orgone energy is very, very powerful. And you ought to do that. Everybody has a moral duty to do that because we're in a war situation. We're in a war. This is a war being fought against us, a secret war being fought against us. It's so secret that lots are unaware that there's a war being fought against them. So you ought to do that. You have a moral responsibility to do it. Make an Orgone generator and bury it close to a microwave transmitter. So anyway, take a small quartz crystal with at least one point in it. Wrap the crystal in copper wire. Copper is an energy conductor and it is known to stimulate energy flow. Use polyester resin because it shrinks as it cures, which compresses the crystal, and the constant pressure on the crystal will cause the crystal to generate a small electrical charge. If you're making them what are known as the tower busters, they're the small Orgone generators. Use a silicone muffin tray, and you pour metal shavings into the muffin tray. Any type will do as long as they're not aluminium. Some people say that aluminium doesn't work, but you can use stainless steel metal shavings or any other type of metal shavings you like, gold, silver, anything. But there's a question mark over aluminium. Some say it's okay, some say it's not. Lots of people are using stainless steel metal shavings. Add some resin. Place the crystal with the copper wire in the center with the point facing down, because when it's set, then the point will be facing up when you take it out of the mold. Add more shavings, small crystals, and resin. If you are making an orgonite pyramid, other optional additions are selenite shards, amethyst crystals, sodalite crystals, citrine crystals, red agate crystals, hematite crystals, colorants for the various layers of resin, and many other types of stones and decorations. You can use shungite. If you have shungite, put it in as well. It's very powerful. Okay. You can purchase molds online in the shape of pyramids or pendants so as to make Orgone generating jewelry and Orgone generating ornamental pyramids. Fill the mold almost to the top with metal shavings and cover with resin. The metal shavings broadcast the signal. And the metal shavings, the smaller the shavings, the better, the more powerful they are. Okay. Tap the sides to bring any trapped air bubbles to the surface. When it is cured, it's ready for use. You can keep it by your bedside. You can keep it under your pillow. You can make it into a brooch. Make one into a brooch and wear it, or a pendant, or bury one close to a microwave transmitter, within 1/4 of a mile of a microwave transmitter, and do all of that. Okay. Yeah. When working with polyester resin, wear gloves and eye protection and work in a well-ventilated place and open windows. You can place the hardener, also known as the catalyst, into the polyester resin with the aid of a syringe. Your smartphone emits a frequency which suppresses your consciousness and controls your thoughts and actions even when it is switched off. Orgone helps break your addiction to the frequencies which are being generated by your smartphone. As well as that, I'm constantly hearing voices every day and night, all day long. And when I make videos, I read out what they've been saying to me recently. And they said, we can take her, meaning they can take me out of my house, bring me to an unknown secret prison, and maybe force me to work for them or something. And then, you see, I don't have a family of my own, but I have a very close extended family. So they said we can take the extended family as well if we need to, because these people are lawless. And then another one said, this is steerable. No, this is steerable. No means, am I manipulatable? And I'm not. I'm not manipulatable because I'm very well informed about what's happening in the world, and I have no belief system. I don't belong to any organized religion. I disrespect church and state because they're attempting to enslave us now, and because lots of people throughout my country, the Republic of Ireland, it's not my country, because I don't believe in borders. It's all our planet. But anyway, you see, I don't believe in I don't respect the state. I don't respect organized religions because they're nothing to do with the world. They're artificial constructs and they're being used to enslave us. And even though lots of people throughout the Republic of Ireland, where I live, are being tortured inside their own homes, they won't lift a finger to help us. I have sent lots of letters to the government, and so have the others. They never help us. They're just under mind control. They're under powerful mind control because they're all using smartphones, because it was mandated that government staff use the smartphones. So they're not able to think anymore. So I just wanted to mention what else the voices have been saying to me. Now, they try and control how long I spend online. They try and control what I spend my money on. Now they said, you have enough clobber. They said to me a few days ago, you have enough clobber. Clobber is slang for clothing. So they want to control how much clothes I have. They want to externally control my whole life from an unknown remote location. And make decisions for me, personal decisions. Another voice, which I heard coming from inside my head on another day, said as follows: if you have a belief system, we must code it into you by means of transmitting codes to your brain, so that if you are ever thoroughly robotized, we will be then able to program you to speak about your true beliefs. And then, what did she eat right now? I was after eating something, and one of them said, what did she eat right now? asked another one. And then another time, one of the voices said to another voice about me, "This is the lady who is telling the world what we say. Why is she doing that? I don't approve of it." Yeah, I just want to see. I have them written here on a notebook, on pages of a notebook. I just want to see. Oh yeah. When I'm lying in bed at night, they can transmit the energy to the surface of my skin, but they can also transmit energy inside my body. And they can do internal examinations of my body. Because I can feel them very strongly. I can feel everything they do. But I'm afraid they can also do the same to pregnant ladies. They can interfere with their baby inside in the uterus while it's still in the uterus, because they spoke one day about pre-life initiatives. And so I don't want to worry ladies who are pregnant because it affects the baby if you worry them. But we have to take the initiative ourselves and take down the infrastructure, because this wireless weapons are being used to control and enslave us. Even babies before they are born are being subjected to it. Okay, so I see there was something else I wanted to talk about. Okay. The media are trying to generate fear within the human mind, because that gives the government an excuse to exercise an inappropriate amount of control over every aspect of our lives. Because if we're frightened, then they think we would appeal to the government to rescue us. The government would use that appeal to bring in more stringent laws and control all of our lives. They're trying to. I saw a YouTube video a few days ago of police in Britain breaking into a home without a warrant and taking a young man because he refused to stay in quarantine. So they're not even keeping any laws now. And it's not their fault. They're totally under mind control. They're under mind control to subliminal influencing, subliminal hypnosis to enslave themselves. To enslave themselves and to enslave everybody around them. So anyway, I have a friend here in Ireland who is a targeted individual, and he's been a targeted individual for a long time. And I won't give his name, but he used to be in the army before he became a targeted individual. And he's being gang stalked, and he's experiencing aerial stalking, which is helicopters and airplanes fly around your home at chimney level, which is illegal. It's illegal to fly around somebody's home at chimney level, and it's intimidating and it's frightening. And they did it to me when I first became a targeted individual. He's experiencing it now, but because he knows more than I do about the Irish Army and that, he said the ones who are targeting him are the Irish Army Ranger Wing. The Irish Army Ranger Wing. And you see, the Irish Army Ranger Wing probably have their work so heavily compartmentalized that they're not told what they're doing or why they're doing it. They're probably just told, we want you to fly low around a chimney there in that house. We want to see if there's any, we want you to see if there's any activities, unusual activities there or something. So they're not being told the full story. But he said that they're the ones who are Ariel harassing him, gang stalking him, aerial stalking. They're aerial stalking by flying around his home. Um, Most people in Ireland don't know anything about this at all. They think things are normal, but they're not. They're not normal, and they've never been normal, never, because there are there. This country is being controlled by Freemasons and various other secret characters who are not upfront. I don't know who they are, but I don't want to know them either. Okay, thank you very much for listening. If we all make orgone generating jewelry and pyramids and tower busters and this energy is the most powerful energy in the world, and it will neutralize the energy weapons they're using against us, and at least there's something we can be doing, and it's very powerful. So please do that. Please make the energy, the orgone generators, or purchase some, keep them on your person, give them to your children, ask them to wear them. You will be protecting them to an extent. Thank you for listening to me.